Now, to give you an idea what this is like, one time in the mountains of Santa Rosa, near the Pueblo Ayabaca, it's in the Andes Mountains, the people found out that I had brought a doctor with me. There were about 1,500 people there gathered for the Bible conference, and they discovered that I had brought a physician. Even though the physician had no medicine and they knew it, even though the physician had no tools to work with, and even if he had, he couldn't have done anything in that filthy place. You have never seen such a war break out in all your life. Not because they were evil people or bad people. They were desperate people. No physician had ever been there before. They were poor. They were broken. They had children who were dying and sick, men with tuberculosis, other men suffering, people who had cuts and wounds, and it just turned into a nightmare. They stormed the door of the hut. We moved up to the second floor. I had to stop preaching. For 3 days, I translated for the doctor. Now, I want you to realize what's going on here. You may think that Jesus is in a quiet little village and a few people come to Him to be healed. No, thousands of people. And they are violent, and they are angry, and they are pressing, and they are wanting to get in, and they are wanting to be healed, and He is working, and they are angry, and they are distraught, and they are afraid that their time is going to come and pass, and they're not going to see Him, and there's a battleground going on out there. It is a horrid scene, and if anyone has ever ministered, they would know that this type of thing will absolutely wear you out. Wear you out. Now, it says here in this passage, it says that when evening came, after the sun had set, they began bringing them to Jesus. Now, look at verse 35. But in the early morning, while it was still dark. There's not a lot of time in between the two. There's not a lot of time. I would imagine that people were camped out all around the house. I would imagine that when Jesus went out of the house, He had to make His way. As He made His way through angry crowds at times that wanted to kill Him or wanted to make Him king, I believe He had to make His way through that crowd. Be very careful not to wake them up. Now here is a man who has poured himself out. Did He grab any sleep at all, it seems? And then He arises to do what? To pray. Now, I have to be careful here because there is a great need for ministers to rest. There's a great need for ministers not to work themselves to the bone or to be involved in activities that will take them away from their proper activity of prayer and reading the Word and preaching. But I want you to see something here about the life of Jesus Christ. If any man had a reason to say, I've done enough. I mean, I've given absolutely everything I can give. It was Jesus. If there ever was a man who had a reason to say, Lord, I can't pray now. There's just too many hurting people that I still haven't touched. There's too much ministry to do. I don't have time to pray. If anyone ever had the right to say that, at that moment, it was Jesus Christ. I love what Martin Luther said one time. He said, I have so much work, activity to do today. I must pray at least 3 hours or I will never get done. That's the direct opposite of us, isn't it? I have so much to do today. I have no time to pray. Look what we're saying. We are saying with that declaration, I'm going to go out and accomplish things in the power of my own